everyone, and welcome to the Trinity Continuum Aether actual play this year on the channel of Simulacra TV for Onyx PAFCON 2023. I'll be your story guide for the evening. It's for me the evening, I know that for others it isn't at all. And I'm Michele Masala, and this is the very first time that I run a game live on Twitch. So that will be a new experience for me about which I'm not anxious at all. Okay. We gotta do a little bit of housekeeping first. And if you're here to watch us, you likely know that as Onyx PAFCON goes forward, we have lots of panels going, lots of actual plays about our various game lines. And I know that people are revealing big stuff. I've just revealed big stuff just before we played, and they'll keep going. So check out on our Discord and our social media which plans do we have for the future and even for the con itself. Also, the con is partnered with the Banana Group, which is a group that does volunteer work as a form of using RPGs as support and teaching, and you can consider to donate for them. Is a very good cause and a splendid way of using RPGs to help people who could use the support. So have a look into them. And as for other things that are going, our Kickstarter for They Came from the RPG Anthology is still going. And if you know me, Kim, and Claire, you'll know that we worked on past Onyx Puff book for They Came From. And MK is one of the proud writers alongside me and Kim for They Came From the RPG Anthology. We all wrote a chapter there, and you still have time to back, and you still have time to write about which chapter will get added next. So consider backing the Kickstarter. The smallest pledge there still gives you access to the manuscript, which is a big book with 5 chapters, which is nothing to scoff at. As for Trinity Continuum Aether, okay, which is the game we are playing today, is our game in the Trinity Continuum. It's focused on a Victorian era where the characters from Victorian literature and the folklore of the time happen to coexist at the same time. So you have your Draculas running around Dorian Gray, and the Martians from the World of the Wars being a constant threat for the entire planet, and also any other character you can imagine does exist in the context of Aether. Some who weren't covered in the Trinity Continuum Aether core will make their appearance tonight as previews of the Eternaut collection that we wrote, and is still pretty much very secret, but I happen to be the dev of that, and I'm taking this freedom. Perhaps Rich will send assassins after me, but we'll hope I'll manage to flee anyways.
I want to see which one of our babies from the
Could be one, could be more, we'll see.
Oh boy.
No spoilers there. Before telling you who I am, because I've taken the stage a bit too much already and I'm not made for that, I'll go across my esteemed colleagues and let them tell you who they are as people and who they are as characters, so we can have a little introduction to them. Our game starts as a little bit of context, which I'll go a bit further in not quite on the timeline that Aether considers is beginning in the 1895. We're a little bit earlier in 1894, but we'll get there. For now, I'll proceed by the way my screen shows me things, so I'm not taking favorites. MK, we want you to tell us about who you are and what you do and who your character is, please.
I'm MK. I am a writer and I'm an editor. In fact, I am the managing editor for Onyx Path now. I am playing Lillian Stewart Pitt, who is a noble occultist who uses her occult abilities to get a hold of cadavers to experiment on.
As it was the fancy in the 19th century, especially in England and France, of course.
Yes.
Okay. Kim, what about you?
All right. I'm Kim Godwin. I'm one of the freelancers for Onyx Path. I actually wrote the societies and some of the fluff for the Magogs for Aether as one of my contributions to the Aether to Trinity Continuum. Tonight I am playing Elfried Mayer, who is a GOG with the Society for the Opposition of Monsters, who's been a little bit lost in the Erdstall tunnels, a little bit too many time displacements, so she's not quite sure what reality she's in, but she's going to do her best.
Okay. Yes, there's some weird things going on in Aether, so sometimes you just gotta adjust to the trauma and keep soldiering on the Victorian way, basically, until you break the Victorian way.
Stiff upper lip.
Okay, and last but not least, Claire.
Hi, I'm Claire. I don't really do much of anything. I'm mostly a pineapple of luxury. I put the free in freelancer. Today I'll be playing Constance Mornington, who is an explorer. She's loosely affiliated with the Hysterics, but she's more closely affiliated with the Ministry of Serendipity. And she's looking for artifacts as they belong in a museum, more specifically the British Museum.
Okay.
Oh boy, you are playing the villain this time.
No. I don't think I'm the villain. It belongs in the museum, specifically my museum.
That's a very British Empire way of seeing things for the era, but it's absolutely fitting. As for me, I'm Michele. I'm a writer and developer for Onyx Path. I worked on Chronicles of Darkness, World of Darkness, Scion, Trinity, Exalted, and lots of they came from, for which I developed Cyclops' Cave and Witchford Academy. I didn't write for Aether, but someone must have caught my passion of literature at some point, because they made me the developer of the Aeternat collection and also the Aether companion. So I've been dabbling my fingers in Aether as well, and I'm lucky they aren't glowing green as Aether demands. Okay, I think we'll good to start. Our scenario begins in the Fair of Sciences and Innovations in Paris in 1894. It's been several years since Nikola Tesla discovered the properties of Aether and was the pioneer who, along his collaborators, started the Aether era. A time of development, scientific discoveries, also dabble with elements of moral and what's good and what's who think that Aether is a tool that should break all the norms, others that think that should be extremely regulated. And also you have people that change by their use of Aether and become something that can be either more or less, depending on how good they are at doing things and the perspective of the people who are witnessing them. It's an era, to quote something that I love to speak about when talking Aether, it's an era of gods and monsters in a very Frankenstein way, and with all that entails. Okay, what is the Fair of Sciences and Innovation? It's probably the biggest demonstration of sciences that has happened ever since the beginning of the Aether era. It's the very first occasion where scientists who utilize Aether can show their discoveries and try to gain the recognition of the wider world about their methods, their tools. It's set in Paris, where slightly north of the Seine and not too far from a still fairly new Eiffel Tower. You can, in a ancient palace, you are set to explore this fair where there are many different stands and exposition demonstrations. It's in a sense, when you see in movies and pamphlets those demonstrations about the miracles of electricity and the things that were happening in the Victorian era, it very much goes for that image. For the moment, the Aether world is still unshaken by the very depths of what can happen out there. There are mentions about creatures who devour the blood of others and that tried to establish their places in Whitby a couple of years ago. And you have mentions of contacts with strange species of creatures on the third planet from Earth, these so-called Martians who had sporadic contacts with the Aethernauts that ventured there. But for now, things are very much still idealistic when it comes to Aether. People are still riding the idea that Aether can change the world. Not everyone, but most do. So you find yourself in the fair as people who have drifted away in life a bit, but you do happen to know each other, and not necessarily as friends, I'll let you decide that, but as colleagues who are sharing their time and company for the fair into this morning, or this Parisian morning, so to say. You are already in the fair and are exploring what it has to offer right now. You are among the few that were selected to witness a demonstration of a certain doctor, Dr. Marcus Wells, who is trying to demonstrate one of his, he calls a miracle of iterate sciences into this evening. You have your invitation, you don't know much yet about what Marcus has prepared for you, but you are among the guests for this demonstration. You were, thanks to your connections to the various societies of the Aether setting, you earned your place in there. Okay. The fair itself is a place of wonder and discovery. You see people showing around with Tesla coils demonstrating their power, ornithopters flying around, people showing images that fly on screens and try to emerge from the screen in a three-dimensional way. You see plenty of that. You see machines that fly and go underwater, trying to be demonstrated and sold. But now let's get a little bit around and ask what your characters are doing in this context. You can tell me if you're along with the others, if you're taking some time to make the rounds by yourself and plan to reunite later. Basically, what your time at the con is in this case. I'll go the opposite way this time from democracy and start with Claire.
Oh my goodness, I was not prepared for that.
I knew that.
Oh, okay then. Let's see if we can wander around a bit and if there are any unsupervised tools. See if I can pick one up here and there. And just
Okay.
generally try not to draw too much attention to myself.
Okay. You do wander around, and there are so many people and so many elements of the landscape that grab the attention that you discover that taking something for yourself is likely not that difficult. You wander around and find that there's a stand with a sort of mechanical centipede, the height of a kid, that is supposed to be a vehicle that can walk on walls and take someone riding it alongside being demonstrated. There's several people watching and a man behind the stand who is trying to show the benefits and illustrate what the potential uses of this tool can be. You see the distinctive green glow of Aether doesn't manifest quite strong within this item, but there are little lightnings of green that appear when the legs move and find more difficult to walk around the obstacles in there. There are smaller similar objects like this, all based around the theme of supporting movement, in the sense that they can be shoes, very strange shoes that are basically leather with a iron cage, metallic cage around that allows you to easily move faster, even if you have some doubts of that. And also there are little batteries or crystals with a green glow, of which you do ignore the use. It's probably just stuff they're taking there to have the instruments to repair stuff, if you could use that in the moment, because Ether sciences are new and people aren't that good yet if you're not called Tesla or Edison or well, in other cases, or Jekyll in other, if you're more into chemistry things. Would you like to grab something, to steal
I
something?
would. Something small and pocket-sized.
Okay. I think that in this case, good old larceny plus dexterity is your role here.
Ooh. 2 7, 3 and a 5.
That's a failure. Okay, you'll get
Oh.
momentum for the pool, which I'll sign there. I should probably get another dice. Just a moment. Because
Yeah, with Trinity, the difficulty is like it is, and they came from where it's 8.
Yes, indeed.
Unless you are playing Aberrant, and then it
Oh, no.
sounds as a as a Nova.
You're a superhero there.
Yeah.
Okay. As you try to slide your hand over the stand, you'll get noticed by a man around his between his 30s and 40s, man with slick black hair and a couple of glasses and a thin mustache that it's thicker than the ways of Paris in this timeline would have them. And I'm sorry, but they're disturbing me right now. I'm gonna need to open the door for a moment because I made the promise. Please don't disturb him. That didn't work. I'll be right.
Oh no.
We are without storyteller. What shall we do?
Make our own story.
Oh no.
How,
It just depends
how should we
what
make
chaos are you trying to inflict today?
Hmm.
The chaos will come. whether
it just happens as it happens.
whether it's now or in like 20 minutes.
Everybody,
Okay.
everybody, quick, go pack the lake they came from. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm sorry about that.
No, it's okay.
Okay. That should be in the last one, hopefully. And this man notices you, and as someone who has some connection with the Order of Eons, the esoteric Order of Eons, you happen to have some familiarity with this person, but you can't quite point him out. It doesn't. While you're as your name is your wonderfully British name for the 19th century says, you're not quite sure the person is from the British parts of the order. But he's looking at you and he's trying to see what you're about to do. And he knows you're trying to steal something. He's not telling, but he's waiting for you to make the next move. I'll also roll for the owner of the stand because he might be more interested in you stealing stuff. But he also fails, so you have your chances to do that.
I have a chance, yeah. Do I know I've been spotted, or is this? Do I know I've been spotted, or?
Yes, you notice that he's clearly looking at you and actually quite amused, to be honest.
Okay, in that case, it'll be maintaining eye contact, and I'll just pick it up, look at it very closely.
Ah, okay.
It's very pretty. What is it?
I've been told that that's a glass that should show you the possibilities of the future, but I've tried it and it doesn't work at all. I think it's just a fancy glass that was fitted like way more to attract attention than anything. Someone lied there, and I'm not too fond of that. But let me introduce myself because I think we work for the same people. And this gentleman introduces himself as a person coming from Italy, and whose name is Cavalcolodi here. And I couldn't help but to notice you were having some sort of moral dilemma going there. And did you manage to sort it out?
I would like to invoke my aura of innocence on this.
Oh, already. Wow.
Using
Well,
gifts already.
It's there. And I go, no, it looks like something my grandmother used to have, and it reminded me of her. And sometimes I miss her so much. She only lives 2 streets away, and I never visit her. Can I get this? Can I buy this? Can I have this?
Okay. Aura of Innocence essentially allows to have a projectile. Why it's not a gift, it's an edge from Aether, and allows you to project an aura of earnest demeanor and trust and innocence, and have people help you have a positive attitude or vouch for you, which I think Mr. Collodi has no reason not to do in here, because he doesn't quite have a negative attitude because of what you did. And not yet. The session could be long there. Okay. So, and he says, oh, well, let it never be said that I'm not kind with a lady such as you, who also happens to share my affiliation. So I'll kindly cover you for that one.
Consider yourself owed a favor.
Oh, very nice. Thank you.
I'll slink off into the crowd.
You get this glass monocle basically for you there, which is more of a little enhancement for persuasion because it's very nice than an actual super science tool. The actual tools are the ones the gentleman was demonstrating there. Okay. And I'll go with Kim in the middle and then start next time from Kim, so prepare yourself when the time comes. What are you doing, Kim, or rather Elfriede?
Elfriede is trying to get her bearings, trying to figure out what's actually going on at this version of the fair. She keeps looking up at the skylight kind of nervously, but she's just kind of trying to get her bearings, just staying away from the walls as she looks at the booths. Just trying to, it's like, okay, is this the one? Is this, or was that another one? Was that here or was that somewhere else? I don't remember.
Okay, Elfriede stumbled on a piece of the Aether setting where the barriers between the dimensions aren't quite as thick than as in other places, and stayed there for a bit too much. I think to understand, right?
Mm.
So
Yeah.
you're seeing things, seeing a little between the planes at the moment. Definitely not helped by the loud sound that Tesla coils make during demonstrations. That is that very distinctive electric bang that happens during Tesla coils demonstrations. And
I figure Mina probably advised her to stay home, but she was like, no, I'm good. I need to get my bearings again. And it's like, we got invited out. I'll go rep and figure out what's going on. Maybe I can stop this thing from happening from the other place if it happens at all. But if it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen, or maybe it will. I don't know.
okay, you are actually unlike other groups, you are the only representative from the society in Paris for the fair. You can't exclude others are at work in Paris for other reasons that might include or not orangutans with a razor, depending on where you go in your Victorian era Parisian lore. But for the fair itself, it wasn't deemed as a risk from the society as other places. So Mina advised you to. Mina eventually was okay with you going because Mina, which is for those who don't know, none other than Mina Murray, than Archer from Dracula, that is the leader of the society Kim's Elfriede belongs to, who organizes the fights against the most monstrous entities of the Aether setting, because Mina, of course, had her experiences on the matter, and as it is. So Mina was okay with you going because she figured that any risk you would face here would be more tame than an actual encounter with a Magog or an Aether imbued monstrosity. So Mina went along with your idea, not explicitly telling you, okay, yes, but okay, we'll do as you want. Okay. You do remember that the demonstrations of Mr. Wells is supposed to be interesting. There's lots of rumblings about that across the fair, but so far you didn't manage to catch anything specific about it. And there's some noise, but perhaps we'll get to that once you're reunited. And so that means we'll have to ask MK, of course, what her character is doing in the fair. The others left you on by your own, even without giving you the choice.
Well, Lillian is, she's at a folding table outside with tarot cards out front, and she's offering sort of free readings to people. Um, she is a spiritualist and she does have some spiritual powers, but she also has some incredible powers of lying and cold reading.
Okay.
And so, what she's really trying to do is find people who have recently deceased relatives, very recently deceased relatives, or might soon, and tell them uh, if you really want to be able to say goodbye, lots of
Oh,
hair is great, teeth are fine, but I really need something fresh.
okay. Yes. Your attitude to procure parts of corpses plays even here. Okay.
Yeah, and I'm just trying to make connections right now. They'll know who to reach out to.
Okay, let's make that happen. Okay, as you put yourself right out of one of the main entrances to the fair, so there's lots of people coming and going, and so far no guards or people in control of the fair have yet received complaints about you or made any noise, which might likely depend on what we'll do right now and how our little scene unfolds. Okay, uh, I'm gonna ask you for I think that given the ideas, an empathy and either cunning or manipulation to find a suitable target for your questionable activities here.
Okay. So empathy plus what did you say?
Either cunning or manipulation would work for me.
Okay. So we've got 6 dice I'm gonna roll. So sorry, just a little trouble with it.
Don't worry. I have all the time to review my notes that are disappearing from my mind through sheer anxiety right now.
Oh,
Okay. Do we have 10 again?
No, we do have 10 again in Trinity. Yes, it's not the 10 counts as 2. That's for they
Okay.
came from.
So far I've got 2 successes.
Okay, not bad. I think it's not a contrasted roll because you're reading the crowd here.
Okay.
And
3 successes.
oh, free. I was about to say that 2 is plenty, so 3 is more. And you definitely see these old man who isn't quite that old. He's in his late 60s. This old Parisian man who you catch a glimpse of sorrow in his eyes, and it seems clear to you that he came to see the fair to distract himself from some tragedy of an unspecified nature that recently struck him. So he's trying for a nice day outside, and you're about to probably ruin it in a sense. But we'll see.
Monsieur, I see you're in need.
I will refrain from making accents because I'm already speaking a language that it's not mine, and I want to inflict upon you all the accents I make in this.
you don't have to use accents. You already got one right now. You're good.
Okay, the man comes nearby and is an old man with a short white beard, the kind that is shaved, but not that recently. It shows, and is a man with a gaunt face. Is very very thin, but he has. You notice that his hands are rough. He probably is a worker. He might be working on in a warehouse or on the Seine for working on the ships and the shipsmen that pass through there. You have got this idea, and he says, "Yes, what are you doing here?"
I, you know, I do a little bit of reading the future, but what I mostly do is help people reconnect with their loved ones who have passed through the veil.
I don't believe in those things, to be honest. But thanks for trying to give me a little bit of a reprieve, young lady.
See, I do have cold read as a skill. Is there something I can pick up off
Mhm.
of him? I also have like I also have a perfect memory, so if there's something about him that I would remember, that might be a good skill. Um, let's
Okay.
see.
Cold read is, I think, from the Aether core, which I don't
Mhm.
have right here. I'll grab it.
Uh, if I
Or if you have
try to,
access to it, please
I
feel
have
free
it
to
in
tell
front
me.
of it.
Okay.
When my character is attempting to establish a rapport with another character for information gathering, add 2 enhancements to my interview actions. They're not likely to give up anything super secret, but um, they will still unwittingly part with sensitive information.
Okay, you have a +2 announcements to make him talk then, and he'll reveal. I heard that correctly, right?
Hmm.
Okay. We'll make, I think that in this case, I'm feeling that you're trying to use more of your presence than your manipulation, but persuasion plus presence or manipulation works for me as well.
Okay, so
Anything you
1,
might
2,
prefer there.
4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I'm rolling 8 dice.
You made Lillian for this, so let's use it.
I did. Do ones take away successes?
Okay.
Do ones take away successes
Ah, no,
or
sorry, I heard. No, they don't.
so 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 successes. I'd have to re-roll the 10, but is 4 enough?
It's 4 plus 2 announcements, so it's 6 for to begin with. This poor Parisian worker rolls 3, but we'll make it for him. He actually manages to do his best because he rolls 3 out of 3, but it's not enough to beat the 6, which for the story path parameters is high.
Yeah.
So what do you understand? Yes, I've signed the momentum from the roll before.
I'm just reminding.
Mhm. You understand that with 6 is he opens up just like that because you speak with him a little bit and he tells you that his wife Josephine died of well, we'll go the right way. She died of consumption just 2 weeks before,
Oh.
and they had problems because they couldn't pay for the rent in their home, and so they couldn't afford to keep up heating in the proper way, and she just wilted away like a flower that you'll miss forever. And I'm improvising this very sad thing, and I made myself sad like that.
Oh,
But and he just starts to tell you about how they met and everything, and he, you eventually stop him with kindness, with deceitful kindness at a certain point to I imagine sell whatever you're about to sell him, or the idea you're about to sell him at least.
Sure. So 2 weeks gone a little is a little far gone for me. But how about this? After this World's Fair, let's meet up and I can maybe touch some of her things, look at them. Maybe we can get her in touch with you.
Hmm. Yeah, I think I'm okay with making an attempt there. I never believed in these things, but I have nothing to lose, I imagine.
Hmm. And if you ever lose somebody, you know, overnight, just like that, you just call me immediately, and I'll be sure to make sure that they can say their goodbyes, you know, right after the moment of death. And if you know anyone else, and I'll probably I will have a calling card that I
Okay,
hand out. And
okay.
but I will do my best with because people do move on, in a day or two they start moving on, which is a wonderful thing, but it's not so good for our hearts, is it?
No, it isn't. He stares at the card for a while, lifts his sight for a moment and looks at you, nods, and just leaves. So you're making me understand that Liam wants the bodies fresh as well. Okay.
Lily
Uh,
wants yeah, all she needs in order to talk to them, and if she can make contact, she will, and then she'll, you know, do what she does as a member of Dr. Jekyll's Explorers of the Unknown as payment.
okay. Well, we had some scenes that introduce us to the characters. Well, each their own. They all introduce us to our let's call them protagonists rather than heroes, shall we?
Oh, it's gonna be one of those games. All right.
And I now know what plots I have in mind, so things will get interesting. I reckon. Okay. I say you all meet up together, and we'll see where things go there. It's a bit of a rail, but it's a necessity of one shots. You gotta have your rails stronger than in other occasions. So bear with me for that one. Okay. Okay. You all meet together under a central, right next to a central fountain in the main building of the fair. Uh, the fair is organized in this large palace that used to belong to aristocrats up until around 100 years ago, before some things happened to a lot of aristocrats in France. And it's this vast palace that has lots of an open roof with a covered in glass and windows like that, with lots of lights getting in, at least in this central area. You meet right next to a splendid rococo fountain you can find in there. All you three together.
Well, Constance will be wearing her fancy new monocle and trying very hard to balance it on one eye, just like with the cheek up.
That's hard, isn't it? I've tried and never managed to make it work.
We're making it look like someone just poked you in the eye. And we'll wave over her two companions. Just be like, all right, you find any rubes, Lil? Lil, did you?
Well, nothing with a beating heart, if you see what I mean. But
Oh, nobody let you touch her stuff.
well, I got to sort of moistly grab somebody's hand and tell them it's going to be all right.
Oh
But
no.
That
aside
doesn't
from
sound pleasant at all.
I
It's like
enjoy it.
what's with the not a beating heart? Do I need to get my gun? Is everything okay?
I mean, you don't need to do anything that gross,
There's a
that
sanguinivore or something,
unsubtle.
or something else, or
I just, if
afraid being
people
oblivious that
want
this is a
me,
con. Not a threat.
If people want me to speak to the dead, which I can do, I must emphasize, I really can do. Um, I can do it at any time, really. It's just, in order for me to get paid properly to do that, I need to learn something. You know what I mean?
Like that
We're all in this for
info, or-
knowledge.
Yeah. So you're okay. There's nothing I need to kill right now or make more dead.
Nothing right now. Nothing
now.
right now.
Okay. Just want to make sure
But
you're
I'll
okay.
call on you. Oh, I'm great. And how are you? We're talking about killing something very early in the morning.
It's been a trip. It'll be okay, maybe, possibly. We'll see. Don't know.
Okay, it's indeed still fairly early in the morning, around 10 a.m. The fair is still somewhat empty. It's filling up, basically. You do know that you have a meeting with the people invited to Mr. Wells' demonstration around 5 p.m. and the demonstration itself will take place in the evening, basically, after you all have the chance to meet up with esteemed people, chat, discuss, and make yourself know. So I'd say that unless your characters plan to do something, we'll let the hours pass and move toward the social event that's planned for you to attend in the afternoon. Okay.
unless
Yeah,
you
unless
guys want to go up the Eiffel Tower. I mean,
Yeah,
it's right
let's-
there. They're going to take it down in 10 years, they said. Or was it 5?
yeah, as long as nothing like inherently spooks Afreed, she'll be okay. She won't draw her weapon or do anything crazy. She'll just be kind of paranoid.
Okay. It's June in Paris, so
It's hot.
it's things even inside here are kind of hot because there's lots of people going, lots of background electricity, either fueled by uh, mundane methods or ether, but sometimes you feel the heat coming. But in the afternoon, you all meet up together in a side building of this complex where you know that the meeting with Mr. Wells and his demonstration will happen later on. As you move toward this building, there's a couple of people waiting at the entrance. There's at least 2 people that wear a sort of not exactly police uniform, but enough of a uniform to recognize they're there for security reason, that the fair established for them to have that role, and that they are overseen by an aging Frenchman who is dressed like a proper monsieur, that you recognize he might have an important role for the con, and also another man who's speaking with an accent that reveals he's not French, he's probably British as well, but he seems to speak with the Frenchman as if they are not necessarily on the same level, but they work together here, and they are overseeing the acceptance of guests inside of the building. Outside of the building, there are images and promotional material of the Gem of Reason by Marcus Wells, which is a name for sure. and it's not much is revealed of these gems. There's a drawn image of this sort of diamond-shaped gem, which is irradiating not better specified energies, but none of you know what this is about. And you all have your invitations here, and it's up to you to what to do now. And I'll ask him first, but you're as a group here, so you can also talk as a group. It's up to you all.
So Ifrid is concerned that this might be another gateway thing or something else. Like there's something wires crossed that aren't quite syncing up. She's having a hard time putting into words what her concerns are. It's just like she's kind of looking at the diamond kind of concernedly. Hopefully nothing comes out of that, is what she does manage to say.
Okay, then we'll go with MK, if you have any ideas on the matter, or if you just go and get yourself into things.
I think I'm going to try and find a seat near the first row. Have a, I am minor nobility, so I'm well dressed, and I can make an entrance.
Okay,
and
so
sit down.
once past the gate, that's where you're aiming at. Okay,
Mhm.
very well. I'll keep that in mind. And Claire,
I would like to have a look around, see what kind of security is going on here.
Oh dear.
I'm not saying I'm going to steal it, but sometimes it's good to just see how sometimes the security is set up.
Sure.
okay.
In case there's a chink in the armor, it might prove useful, it might not.
And see, Ifrid's just thinking that you're being security conscious for once. So she's like trying to help you out. And it's like, yeah, I think we'll be okay. Maybe there's enough people here.
Okay,
Make this
that's
okay.
actually a role that's gonna become useful to us. Would you please roll larceny for knowledge about the security ongoing, and either intellect or cunning, please?
That's the same number. No, that would be nothing. And
Claire is our momentum generator so far.
I'm looking around, I'm like, yeah, they've got like two guys.
I'll write the momentum here in chat so you can all see it as
We're
well
up to
as we
2.
proceed. All thanks to Claire.
Can I take a peek around myself? Can I just take a peek at the?
Yes.
What's
The same role, I'd say, either larceny plus intellect or cunning. Thank you.
Okay, so that's 7 die.
We have good chances, but I'm not gonna say that's in the bag because
Yeah, of course. But maybe we can get some more momentum. Who knows?
Ifrid will help, but she only has like 2 cunning.
If you roll no successes and there's a 1, that's a botch. Just saying.
Well, that didn't happen because I have to roll again.
Okay.
6 successes.
Okay, again. Okay.
Ifrid only got 1 on her 2 dice, so.
Okay. What to say with 6 successes that you scan the room and it's not quite in the room yet. You're outside, but you're seeing lots of movement, and there's actually quite a number of. They try to hide a little bit, not necessarily not get seen, but just not attract the attention. There's quite a lot of gendarmes here, lots of police of Paris, which are doing the rounds, and it strikes you because with 6 successes, I gotta spill the beans. It strikes you because their presence now that you think about it, it's focused on this side building. You saw a couple and others moving, making the rounds. Not that you try to picture them in the fair, but you notice there's a number of gendarme here in this building, which strikes you as odd. And you also notice that there's one who isn't quite wearing the uniform, the others are, who is most likely their chief, who interacts with the other people, the other two people who seem to have an important role for the fair.
Hmm.
You do share that information, you keep it for yourself. It's honest questions time.
Honesty. Oh no.
I think I'm gonna tell my two compatriots, like just sort of idly gesture at them. Goodness, they have a lot of security here, don't
Really?
they? And I
Where?
just sort of and I point out how much
Oh,
there is, and I point out, and there, I think, is the boss fellow.
Hmm.
Do we have any questions, or are we just happy to be well secured while we're visiting?
I mean, there is a lot of security, but this is a really big event, but this is still a lot of security.
It's something
Mhm.
valuable.
It is very-
It could be something very dangerous too. What does this
Well,
do? This thing do? Do we know?
No, you don't know because Mr. Wells will announce. There's lots of gossip going it around. You know that he claims that this, how he calls it, the gem of reason is, you pick the name because it enlightens and nobilitates the people who use it, and there's mention that people thinking that it could be a source of energy, a curative item. There's lots of gossip about it, and nothing of it is clear. You don't know if what is true and if everything is, if nothing is. But there's lots of gossip about the gem in the Ethernaut community, basically. And as you move a little bit closer, you hear that there's an argument between the Englishman of at the gates, speaking with the chief of the police, and the Englishman and the Frenchman are arguing with the chief because they're saying, "Oh, you don't have to worry. I assure you that our security is tight, and this is just something that is bearing heel omen on our event, and it's ruining things, and we cannot we cannot allow for it to keep going this way. It's ruining what should be an important event." And the chief, or rather the inspector, won't have any of it, so he just takes his man inside without while making his authority prevail even above the people of the fair. Okay. uh, you move forward in line. There's people coming in. There's a couple which you understand must be a married couple, which are American in their way of bearing forward, and also slightly their accent you recognize as husband and wife moving forward. There's the Mr. that Mr. Collodi that Claire encountered also is in, along with other people. There's a fair little crowd of people getting in there, all selected, all faces that you don't recognize from as names from the Aethernaut societies, but you do recognize as faces. It's people that you've seen. Perhaps there's a newspaper picture of the of Addison, and there's the couple is there in the background, and this sort of recollection basically. And then it's your turn. You do reach the fair guards and the two organizers basically, and the guards don't aren't there to gossip honestly, but will likely answer if you ask them anything. But for the time being, they just ask for your invitation. Invitation, please.
Hand
Yeah.
mine.
Hand it over.
Hand it over.
They check the letter and with the sigils and everything, and then allow you to get inside. Okay, you want to interact with anyone at this point at the gate, or you want to step in?
All the cool stuff's in school. Cool, dangerous stuff's in there.
Absolutely fair.
Afreed wants to go in and, with cautious curiosity, go walk around this thing, pace a bit.
Okay. MK and Claire, same thing?
Which way did the chief of the police go?
Inside.
I will
the
follow
direction
him.
you... Sorry?
I will follow him.
Okay.
They're coming for you, Michele.
Yeah, the police. Yes, you heard it
Police,
from
yeah.
me. Yes,
Yeah.
I'm fairly close to the window, which is closed, and I'm dying of heat, but the noise still gets through. Okay, so you do enter inside, and the room you find yourself in isn't an isolated room. There are corridors and always staircases all going in other places. This is effectively another building slightly connected to the one, this main one of the fair. But in the middle of this room you get in is a vast circular room with rows of chairs, all organized around a central pedestal of wires, irons, and glass, whereas they're encased in a dome. There's this glowing green gem, which is emitting faint sparks of green lightning over to the dome itself. But it's whatever it is you just can understand that the machines attached to it aren't on at the moment. It's not working. It's there for some reason at the moment. It's more of for now it's just an exposition essentially. You see lots of people walking around. There's people interacting with others. You can see there's the tones are getting heated between the married couple and a gentleman you didn't meet yet, so you don't quite recognize. And also that the gendarmes are making a lot of noise and a lot of checks of the area with little attention for what the academical dignity of the event is. And there's this German man followed by two twins that is trying to not have a panic attack about the gendarmes doing their rounds, basically. There's around the place a little bit of food and beverages for people there. It's 5 p.m. at the moment for the entrance. The event will happen in about a couple of hours. For now, it's just for the socialization aspect of the event. It's clear that someone is trying to sell the experience of things here. The,
Is there
the
any?
room is ours in more than one way. I'm sorry for interrupting you. Yeah, okay.
Is there anyone who looks like they know what's going on a little more than other people?
Okay, without even rolling, it's a fair thing to ask. You think that the German man was trying to not hyperventilate too much, evidently knows more than others, and the Frenchman and the Englishman who are entering now from where they went also are aware of the what's going on here right now, and they are basically passing alongside you to move forward and check on things. So these are the two groups of people that you can understand, know more about the exact details of the scene.
I'm going to go for the Englishman because I'm a
Okay.
little bit more English and I feel like I could work on it. And just why hello?
Okay. Sisio is a man in his early 30s, a quite pleasant man to the looks. He corresponds to the ideal of the proper gentleman of British breed, and with slightly reddish hair, with mutton chops that reach just up here, and also quite groomed and prim and proper, basically. Uh, he sees you and you greet him and say, "Oh, my pleasure to make your acquaintances, man. I'm Thomas Sheridan. I'm one of the organizers of the fair here. How can I
Oh,
help you?"
how do you do? I am Lillian Stewart Pitt. I'm just fascinated by what's going on here. What do you think? What do you think is about to happen? Do you know?
Uh, let's make a little roll for the degree of things he'll just tell to you. But we can give a positive attitude of one with things because you put yourself in a way that um, he is inclined to open up a little bit. And I
And
think, please,
can I use cold read again because it's two enhancement to interview actions.
yes, yeah, absolutely.
Okay. So
I'd say that's probably a persuasion plus presence roll with plus
okay.
2 enhancement.
Let's see. Presence is plus persuasion is and enhancements as are add die, right?
And no, they are added successes if you roll at least one.
Okay. So I'm rolling 6 dice because I'm kind of a monster at this kind of thing. Uh, I have to roll 2 again. uh, so with the enhancement, 6 successes.
Again, 3 rolls, 3 times 6 successes.
Yeah, just don't ask me to lift anything. Don't ask me
Okay.
to. Yeah. Uh,
I wonder how we'll fare with the physical challenges of the scenario. But for now, it's all
oh, I'm,
social, so
I'm.
you're doing great.
It's gonna be bad. Except if I run
uh,
away, I've got a feat for running away, and that's it.
no, I've tried to, as one does, put a lot of a bit of social, a bit of physical, a bit of mental to paint the tapestry. For now, you're shining, and so Thomas says, "Well, I'm actually not based in Paris. I live in Glasgow myself, and work a lot in London, and I I came to Paris to help organize the thing. What can I say? Mr. Wells is promising a lot with his gem of reason, and I happen to know, and this is between us, of course.
Yes.
I happen to know that he's not a con man. There's truth in what, at least part of what he claims the gems able to make. I couldn't witness the the whole reach of this invention. I've tried to even have him sell it to me, to so can I could bring that to England and have us, as one does, put the good scientist of the Queen after it. But we'll see about that. It will be an interesting demonstration. I know that he asked us to give him the space to set up things in a certain way. I think he has something, something dramatic to show. And I'm just sorry that the police of Paris are ruining things like that, because it's been.
Oh, they do get in the way, so they're in your way.
Yeah, technically not my way. You see, there has been we received what one would call a calling card from a certain individual that I was instructed that as a fame here in Paris, a certain gentleman thief who goes by the name of Arsène Lupin, who promised to steal the gem under our noses here. But that's nonsense. We set up security in a way that it's impossible for anyone to steal the gem here. So the inspector Renard there has an history with Lupin and doesn't quite believe we can defend the gems by ourselves. But you know how the French are. It's always so dramatic. So.
I'll be sure to keep an eye out for a sneaky Frenchman.
Yeah, you're gonna need to keep more than one open then. But if you see one that goes above and beyond, perhaps do come and tell me.
I will. Thank you so much.
With a bit of lovely British 19th century prejudice for the French, we'll ask. Well, first of all, we'll ask if MK does something with this information again, or you keep about the coming of the gentleman thief for yourself.
Gosh,
I'm putting you in front of dilemmas today, but you're making characters that have me ask instead of taking that for granted.
yeah, I'm probably gonna go to Constance, who I think is also very sneaky. And I'm going to tell her we are on the lookout for a thief. Can you believe it?
I can't believe anybody would ever steal things. That's like so wrong and so
So
bad.
wrong.
Yeah,
It's terrible.
it is.
But
I
we
mean,
should
if you're
probably.
legitimately curating, that's fine. But
Right, right. So if we see he's supposed to be French, but if he's a gentleman thief, he could pretend to be anybody, right?
mhm.
So perhaps we could keep an eye out for him, because I mean, I don't know if I want this. It's not, it's not squishy or anything, but I do need to fund my research, and I would rather have it than, just some guy I don't know, right? Or you
That's
have it, or whoever. So we'll
um,
keep an eye.
I think I could find a buyer if it was in my possession. You really need to find the buyers before you do the stealing. But I mean the acquisition and
Oh, so we don't have a buyer. So we just don't want him to get it in case we do find a buyer.
And it's
Something
very
like that.
so
Anyway, something interesting might happen.
good because this place is kind of boring.
It is a little bit of a drag.
Mm.
Yeah, it's a scientific con, so it's not quite a party as both of you are used to be honest. Let's call things for what they are. Okay, I'll ask Kim if you want to do something with the room right now, then pass to Claire. So Claire can go last for this time because it's only fair.
Yeah, sorry, I got disconnected there for a second
No,
from my internet.
no worries.
So I have completely borked all the screens. I'm sorry. But Elfried will try to get up closer to the gem and do a little bit of a examining, try to figure out
Okay.
what it is, if this is the same thing that she saw at the glass palace, or if this is something else, or if that even they're not even sure if that even happened, or if that was this year or some other year, but she is acutely paranoid.
Okay, so as this is sort of a social investigation scene, so you'll get your core clue of the scene right away. Aside from the people arguing and other complaining, you examine the structure where the gem is from a distance because people don't let quite you get right to it as
Darn them.
is. And they're trying to, the gendarme are looking at you with careful eyes. But you see that the pedestal is actually quite of a tall structure. It goes up for 8 meters, and there's wires and cables all connected to it. And by analyzing from below, you see that the dome at the top where the gem is actually locked. There's a strong lock keeping the dome closed. And so it appears that, as Mr. Sheridan said to MK, that the security measures are there in place because the gem is always there for everyone to see and is also kept under lock. As for the gem itself, I'm gonna ask you for either a science or a humanities plus intellect to determine something you can parse from down here.
Well, she has an almighty 3 dice for science and intellect.
Okay, I'll grab a
Sorry,
momentum and see what happens.
Sorry, 2 dice.
Okay.
Actually, she has. Well, that's enigmas. I don't think an inventive will work here. She's just looking at it, and like the other one is she's not doing anything with it. She's just looking at it. So I don't think either of those gifts apply. All right, so I'm gonna roll my almighty two dice, and see if anything happens. And she does not succeed. She got
And
a
we have,
6 and a 7, which means no.
which
What is
brings
it? It looks shiny. It's tall and it's shiny. That's all I got.
our momentum to 3, and yes, you have a look at the gem, and it seems imbued in ether, and that's about it for you. It's distant, you are not sure, and so you don't parse anything relevant from it from the moment. The man Constance spoke with, Mr. Collodi, approaches you and says, beautiful, isn't it? It's impressive. I wonder if the others here appreciate it. You know, they're all busy arguing. You have the Morris, Gerald, and Nadine there. They work for Edison, and they are arguing with a man from my country, Ricardo, and he worked for Tesla, and there is, you know, how things are going between them. It's always a heated rivalry in the context there. While that gentleman there, who is apparently trying to not collapse on the ground, but judging by how ready he is at the moment, that's Mr. Wells himself, with the Vice twins, which are his assistants, his lab assistants. And you see this German man trying to argue a little bit with the police to let his machines in peace, but without success. And he tries to speak them in a bit of English, bit of French, and you don't quite parse if the police do understand him. The inspector does, but ignores him wholesale, basically.
Yeah, it's a lot of chaos. She's messing with something on her on her belt. It's like it's a sphere. It's a
Okay.
weird looking sphere. It's her apparatus. But she's nervous. And messing with it makes her feel a little bit more secure. Yeah, it's quite beautiful. Just, you know, if Edison's here, people are here, then it could be something dangerous, or it could be something really worthwhile for them to sell, like everything else.
Well,
I don't see any
I'm not.
HRPD folks around, so maybe.
No, they don't have a presence here today, and you know, I'm not a scientist myself. I'm just an observer for my organization, so I'm taking notes. Basically, it's been an interesting way to spend the day. We'll
Which
see.
are you with the order?
Yes, I happen to be Italian representative of the order.
Mm.
I've witnessed what Aether can do, even for people who apparently lack the scientific knowledge of people such as Mr. Edison, Mr. Tesla. So I've been, ever since I've met that strange wooden puppet, I've been interested in what the Aether can do, basically.
Oh yeah. Do you know anything about what this actually does?
No, I've read plenty of things, but you know how journalists can be. You spin a tale, they spin more, and others will try to unwind, but he laughs at his own Aether niche joke there, who nobody is quite gets because it's not that good. But I'm here to see firsthand what is truth and what is a lie here.
It all feels like magic after all of this.
A little bit. Oh well,
We'll have
I'll
to
leave
see.
you be. It's been a pleasure.
Mhm.
Okay, and then we'll ask to Claire if there's something that Constance has in mind for the moment.
Yes, I would like to go and talk to Inspector Reynard.
Okay. Inspector Renard is a Frenchman in his late 40s. It's clear that he is a no-nonsense man with little tolerance for the affectations of the place, and is here to catch criminals, and he might not be the kind of person that feature as a policeman in Les Miserables, but he's still a very serious French inspector, basically. He looks a little bit battered from his experience on the field, but there's more gray than black in his hair. And he has he's perfectly shaven though, and he for the moment, he doesn't quite bark orders around, but he makes gestures at the policeman that they understand what the order is without him speaking. You sense that this man is good at his job, even if like now he looks very frustrated and a little bit angry.
Okay. I would like to try verbal sparring 3, feed their ego,
Okay.
and I would like to like, sidle up beside him and say, "You're the guy in charge around here, aren't you? I can see you're in charge. You definitely look like someone who should be in charge. You look like you've seen a lot. I heard this guy is coming to steal the gem, and he left his calling card, and I bet you're going to catch him. It's going to be you. You're going to be in the news for catching this guy. How are you going to do it?"
Okay. What do you get from that for the an eventual roll? Or to be honest, we can do without a roll here because the man is not the kind that keeps his idea on the matter secret. So I think we can do without a roll. It says, yes, Lupin and I have an history, and I tried to catch him for a while by now. But I don't know. You can do at this, I don't know, you can do an empathy plus cunning of a composure roll, Claire.
Empathy and composure. One success.
Yoo-hoo!
Finally.
We're wrapping up. You notice just a little thing that something doesn't quite add up in his mind at the moment, but he doesn't want to leave any base uncovered. So just keep going and say that I've checked the defenses of the place, and if we keep the entrances covered and the gem right there, everything is locked. So I don't envision there will be a chance for our gentleman thief to do anything there that would escape our attention. I reckon that even Lupin will have to pass on this one in this case.
Oh, but he's thrown down the gauntlet. He said he was coming. I mean, how do you know it's safe? And you must have an amazing plan for where you're keeping the key to the dome over the dome. It must be amazing. I bet it's somewhere super secret that no one would ever guess. So clever.
Please,
Okay.
monologue.
For the location of the key, I'm gonna make you roll.
Okay, yeah, fair.
Yeah, I'd say that persuasion plus manipulation is the roll to make here.
Oh yeah.
Oh no, I've only got 2 dice in there. Okay, let's go. No, that's
Oh.
no,
Zero.
nothing. I got a 3 and a 6.
Okay, our momentum keeps increasing.
Have to start using it.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
It's all good because not much has happened yet, and the events will escalate fast. So that's useful to have. He just scoffs at you. Huh. I say, huh. Says, actually doesn't reveal much about the keys, but he tells you that the keys are not even in my... The keys, I don't even have the keys. So that's not something I can cover there. And it says nothing more. It's more of a way of showing you that he knows you're trying to scrounge some information from you. He just tell you that he doesn't have the keys, which means someone else has, but he just lets you go, and because he has more. I mean, you're a starting character. You can't compare quite with Arsène Lupin right now, so he goes for more experienced things.
Fair.
And it's my pleasure to say that Lupin is one of the characters I kindly asked my writers to put in the Eternal collection. So he could be the one character we reveal from the Eternal collection this evening. There could be more. I'm not telling you yet.
Ooh.
Well, there's a couple that I'm very concerned if they appear. So we'll see. I have a concern.
It would be fancy if something that you wrote comes to kill you or something like that.
Yeah, it'd be kind of like a very Frankenstein sort of
Ironic.
moment.
Yeah.
It's like, oh no, I've been killed by my creation. I regret nothing.
Okay. So you gather a bit of information here. You gather who's who in the room. You gather that the structure of the machinery keeping the gem there. You know that Inspector Renard doesn't have the key to the lock in there. And I'll leave you. I'm talking a lot for setting things up, so I'll leave you interact with the scene as you please right now for a moment, and feel free to tell me when you want to move forward. Or we can move
Could I
forward.
check
if
out-
you want.
Could I check out the actual security, like the physical security on?
You want to
Okay.
succeed on my failed check? Is that what it is? Yeah.
Maybe.
You go look at the structure. It's like, oh look, it's tall and it's shiny. Ooh, I suck.
Yeah.
Yes, why not? Okay, there are no balconies on the side of the machinery, so it really is that up for anyone to reach. And I'll make you roll the same roll I gave Kim, which I think it was Larceny. I made you roll. No, it was for Claire. It was
It was science and intellect that I had to roll.
science and intellect. Yes.
Okay, I'm less good at this. Let me see if there's something I have that could possibly help.
Can't
could
be
always use the
spectacular.
momentum
I
too.
think. Yes, if you want.
You can always use
What'd
the
you say?
momentum if you can always use the momentum if you want to add an extra dice.
Okay. Okay, yeah, I would like to use a momentum as well. So science plus intellect.
If the others
plus
agree, we
one.
are spending that momentum.
Mhm.
Then
I'm cool with it.
okay.
Okay, so I roll 6 dice. 6. I have at least one success.
Okay.
One success. So,
Okay. One is still good in Storybuff. So you do recognize that the structure is wired in many ways that goes to the walls. So you suspect there's some sort of energy that either comes or goes to the gem that will have effects on other parts of the environment. As for the locked dome, you notice that it's quite of a elaborate lock there. It's not something that one could work around with a mere lockpick. So the fair take its precautions here, to be honest.
Okay.
Not much more than that, but because it's just one success, but it's still a good result.
Okay. That's all I wanted to do.
Okay. Anything else?
I was told that monocle can show the future.
Okay.
I don't
They
know
also
how
told
it
you
looks,
it's likely a lie there.
but you know, what have I
You
got to
never
lose?
know.
Let's have a look. Let's have a look through it and see, just like, you know, slap it on my hand a couple of times and just see if it works.
Okay, that will give you I think that either enigmas or larceny plus cunning with a complication of 1 for mysterious things that I won't tell you.
Mysterious things. And those dice have been rolling really bad. I'm gonna roll these ones. Wow.
Wow, is that like really good, really bad? Did you just launch all your dice across the room?
I've got 2 10s.
Oh
Okay.
my.
Reroll.
Roll, yeah. More successes, Claire, yay!
And a 9. I like these dice. I'm using these dice forever. 2 10s and a 9.
Yay!
So 3 successes. Okay, we're getting from 0 to 1 to 3. By the end, you're rolling 5 10s all over the place. And...
Yeah, no, I'm never rolling anything over a success again now that you said that. Thank you.
Okay, you preserve the successes for yourself, or you buy off the complication there.
I will buy off the mysterious complication.
Okay. By looking around with this lens, with this monocle, you actually notice that despite the sharp headache it gives you the moment you put it on and actually focus the sight on there, you can notice there's a faint green glow around Mr. Wells and his assistants, and also which is way stronger than the green glow following the Morris husband and wife and Mr. The one who worked for Tesla, of which I didn't tell you the surname yet. They are a little bit green under the lens, but Mr. Wells and the twin assistants are glowing green. So you understand that if you manage to focus, this lens does show you exposure to Aether, which you notice especially because the gem on the palimpsest there is like a bonfire of green to your sight. It's a little useful tool with consequences that can happen if you don't buy the complication off, but you do it, so
Yay.
okay. I think we are good to move to the demonstration, basically. Okay. Over time, you spend a couple of hours wandering around the hall and eating the free food that's there, which is quite good, despite being June in 1895 Paris, and the heat is pressing, but everything is still good. And you spend your time socializing a bit with people in that sort of surface way that happens at fairs and cons, where you present yourself to the others present themselves to you. There are other people invited who you don't recognize, just a bit of guests to fill the room, which aren't quite as important as any of you as representative of your societies and the others. Time passes, the sun sets, and after you wander around enough to get bored with the things, somebody didn't take the times quite well, overestimated the willingness of people to wander around a glowing gem a bit too much.
With Constance
Decide-
wondering, can I sneak that out in my purse?
Night falls, and you see that the lights light up in the room, and once the police is satisfied with the check they made on the room, they let the assistants of Dr. Wells set up a series of glass globes all around the room. And finally, around 7:30, everyone gathers, and you all sit down with Lillian in the first row, because we mentioned that, and I didn't forget. And you notice there's some unease going, because the demonstration should happen soon, and in fact should have happened at least 20 minutes ago, but nobody seems able to find Dr. Wells at the moment. And so the twins, which are a young man and a young woman, I didn't mention that, I gave twins could give the wrong impression there, decide after Mr. Sheridan presses them to go on with the demonstration, basically. And the other man who was with Mr. Sheridan takes the reign of the event himself. Okay, so this man walks up to a little stage that's in front of the pedestal, and starts to talk as the twins start touching some buttons and some wires behind everything. And the man starts to talk and seems a little bit concerned. He steps on the stage, speaks with Mr. Sheridan, and you see there's something going on, and he leaves, leaving Mr. Sheridan a little bit flabbergasted. So he just takes the stage again from him. And so he starts to talk and says, we're having some issues with Mr. Wells. I've been informed that he doesn't feel well at the moment, but he'll join us soon. So I think that your patience has been tested enough, and will be our collaborators here will show you the power of the gem of reason, even without their teacher present. And I hope you all will enjoy it. Mr. Wells leaves, and sorry, Mr. Sheridan leaves the stage and sits in the first row as well. And then you have the twins making a sign to the people around you. All but two lights turn off, and you see that there are glowing green electricity coming out of the gem into the wires connected to the walls. And all the glass globes, dozens and dozens of glass globes that they put up, light up with a greenish glow that accounts for far more power. It just from coming up from just a small thing like the gem. It basically powers the entire building there. They turn off the lights, the normal lights, totally. So you have this strange yet a little bit eerie, but also wondrous moment where there's the whole room cast in this greenish light from at least 100 of these globes that leave you slightly amazed at the whole thing, just a moment before everything turns off and you're in complete darkness.
That's always a good sign.
There's people screaming, there's people pushing. You don't there's no specific noise you hear because there's just a lot of confusion and alarm for those gathered here. Okay. Anything you want to do? I ask for a single action from everyone, and then we'll see what happens next. I'm ramping up the speed, and you'll see that we'll go there eventually, because we reached a point in the adventure after which things happen.
Yeah, Elfriede is going to fast draw her apparatus and get ready to activate her etheric weapon if she needs it.
Okay.
So she's going to get the capsule out and stuff it into her apparatus.
Okay. Claire?
I am going to dramatically grab Lillian's arm and say, 5 books says when the lights go on, the gem is gone.
Okay, I'm gonna use my perfect memory. Did I see something before the lights went out that would give me a clue as to what's going on? Because it's 2 dots, perfect memory. I don't have to roll to remember, to recall details from previous scenes, even minor ones.
Okay. I'll tell you something which comes with consequences once the scene moves forward. You didn't see anything unusual in there. The scene was set the way it was meant to be, except for the absence of Dr. Wells in there. Everyone was in their place. The gem was there. Everything was locked. So the picture you have in your mind through perfect recollection is very, very, very clear.
Mm-hmm.
Which strikes you because after a couple of minutes, maybe more, because it's hard to tell in the chaos there, the normal light returns, the gem isn't there, the dome is open, and so is the roof. The glass in the roof has been opened, not crashed, open, which you notice immediately. We'll count that it was a clue for examining the scene you would have gotten by rolling, which I'll give you for free right now.
Okay.
There are other clues in the scene if you look around, but that one you get immediately because you can just tell that up in there is open. That the gem isn't there is something that which isn't even a clue. It's a fact of the scene.
Yeah, because everybody's gonna be looking at it. So yeah.
Okay, the light returns, and there was chaos before, and now before it was chaos from fear. Now it's chaos from surprise and indignation, and you see people roaring and telling. You see the police. Inspector Renard is shouting orders to go around and check the outside of the building. You see a lot of disaster. You see, I won't tell you the exact feeling of anyone if you decide to perhaps focus on what they think right now and everything, because that might reveal stuff. I basically set up, from what you can see now, I set up a heist for this, for our evening to solve, essentially. Or so it seems. Will it be? Oh, who knows? Perhaps. Okay, so for all you understand, Arsène Lupin did indeed steal the gem of reason, like just like a gentleman thief or phantom thief like him can do.
I want to look at the German man who you mentioned earlier. I want to look to his expression. The three people who seemed to know what they were, what was going on. I'm gonna look at the German man.
Okay, the German in question was Dr. Wells, which was
Dr. Wells.
missing. The twins
Okay.
are there, and they are shocked, to be honest,
Okay.
because you can understand that they are part of the experiment, and so their work there has just been taken, and they can't find their teacher in there, so they're just shocked right now at the moment. As
Okay.
if, no, that's their emotion without any roles or anything. It's quite clear. They wear it on their sleeves, basically. Okay.
And Thomas, what's Thomas thinking? Is he one of the men?
Thomas is sort of next to you because he's also in the first row, and I'll let you roll for him an empathy plus cunning or composure.
Okay. Empathy plus cunning. So that's 5 dots. And I don't know if I get cold read still because I know him a little bit better. Do you think?
No, you're not talking to him right now. You're more. There's not information it gives you directly. You're not doing the cold read mediums do, like where they ask things and from the passive discourse they get information. You're just trying to read him as a person sitting there in this case.
I've got 1 success.
Okay. It seems as if he's concerned and he's trying to understand the situation, but he's quite stern in look. So you do recognize that you don't quite manage to read what's going on in his mind. He seems quite focused on trying to find his colleague, the Frenchman, and the jam, and there's a lot going on for him right now. Okay. I'll go to Kim if you want to look at something.
She'll look around for some clues. She's not necessarily the best investigator, but she'll give it a go. She has some enigmas, so let's see if she can figure something out or just admire some more shiny things. We'll see how scattered she is today, or no.
Okay. Allora, sorry, a little bit of Italian slipping in. Dan, you do get the core clue of the scene right now, which nobody has checked on yet, but you do see a sort of trail of blood coming nearby this structure and going into one of the hallways nearby. The others didn't notice in the chaos, and also because there's a lot of people going, but there's this little trail of blood, not like a pool of blood going, but there are traces of blood in there. And I'll have you roll enigmas plus intellect or cunning to see if you can see more on that.
All right. All right, so I'm gonna do cunning because she's a more finesse person.
Okay, works.
And of course I don't get any successes. That's lovely. It's like, do I see anything else? No. Oh my God, that's a lot of blood. Let's go shoot it. So she'll try to get the others' attention or security and be like, hey, there's some blood here. Of course she has her weapon out at this point because she's concerned.
I do have enigmas if we need.
Okay. I'll ask Claire what she wants to do and then go back to you in case you want to pursue the idea, okay?
Okay.
Claire.
Was the dome, was it smashed or was it unlocked?
It was unlocked.
It was
It's not
unlocked.
smashed.
Well, in that case, I want to see who Reynard's looking at in an accusing manner for not being able to keep hold of the key.
Okay, without any role in this case, you see that Renard went straight to talk straight to Sheridan into this moment. So you guess that at least Sheridan is involved with the keys matter. If you don't know more details, but you can parse that. And then we'll have a MK roll for Enigmas plus Cunning or Intellect.
That is. Plus, I have to roll again. Three successes.
Ooh, free. It's difficulty free means the difficulty free of a secret clue I put in here, so that's very nice. You do examine the structure well, and you notice that the trail of blood basically ends at the base of the pedestal, and you look at things well there, and you notice that even in the chaos, even in the things, you notice some small traces into this trail of blood, which are actually this is not a trail by itself. There's some of that, but there's also small footprints in there, so small that you think they belong to a cat. So things are weird here. Constance is trying to understand what Renard is saying to Sheridan, and they're arguing about Lupin, how he could have gotten in there, about the keys. And at a certain point, people do notice that there's poor Elfrida that's trying to bring attention to a trail of blood coming describing a trail into the depths of the building, and you bring that to the attention of Inspector Renard, and Sheridan and Renard, without the Frenchman who is not here at the moment, they go after the trail, which I assume you do like to follow as well and see what's there. Okay.
Yes, yes, yes.
I'm concerned. What caused this trail of blood? Because something opened in the roof. Something opened the roof. The thing's gone, and there's now blood. So
yeah, you do move and follow a little bit of the trail, which keeps going, and eventually takes you to Dr. Swell's office, which happens to be locked. But you see that the blood is coming down from under the door without even asking. Inspector Renard crashes the door, and you find in the office the corpse of Dr. Wells, who has been evidently murdered, and which turns our eyes from into a murder mystery as well. And it's not even they came from the RPG anthology. So
oh no,
you have
it was a candlestick in the observatory.
You have a scene of thievery and a scene of murder going on here. You have plenty of suspects to interrogate, and I think.
Can we start with the dead guy? Can we interrogate the dead guy?
Hey, this is definitely Lillian's thing.
Yeah, I think
and
there's
spiritually tuned.
good information.
There's a dead dude. He's freshly dead.
So
he is freshly dead.
He has recently become undone. So it fits your criteria.
It does fit my criteria, and I have to sort of defer to the storyteller. I am spiritually attuned. Can I talk to this guy? Or how much of a charlatan am I in this moment?
Depends on the gift you picked, because there's something that allows you to do things. But this is a good moment because it's a climax and also the right in the middle of the 4 hours allotted to us. So we're gonna take 10 minutes of break to go drink and do other bodily needs we might have to do, and return to have our protagonist try to solve what's going on here in 10 minutes.
Or
Not
fail
yet.
miserably, as we've been doing. We'll see.
Okay. Yes, don't turn off the camera, otherwise Twitch gets enraged, but we'll return in a while. Okay, welcome back. And we just noticed that we have way less time than we thought because I was basing myself in the plans on games lasting 4 hours like all the others I've seen. This one doesn't. It's supposed to end rather soon. Because 2 hours and 30, it's not that much for a game. So we'll collapse the clues a little bit together and make things work in a way, and presume that to the answer, can Lillian speak to the dead? The answer now is a definite yes.
Hooray! I am spiritually attuned. Okay, do I need to roll anything? If when my actions require a roll to communicate with spirits or manipulate mystical energies, gain target to enhancements.
Well, yes, let's call for you're talking to the dead, so a persuasion plus presence with a +2 enhancement there.
Okay. Got a glass of tea in my lap, which should go great. So persuasion plus, what did you say? Persuasion
Plus presence.
Presence. So +2 enhancements. Are enhancements automatic successes or dice?
Automatic successes if you roll at least one.
Okay. I did not roll any successes.
Okay. We'll make things work anyways. In a different sense, which still accounts for the failure because I still
Reroll
got to
with momentum
respect the
too.
roll.
Oh, we can re-roll with a momentum?
It's like one
Or-
more momentum per die. Yeah.
Yeah, you have one more dice.
Okay.
But we can make, because that could you have still to roll a success there. So you can see the ghost of Mr. Wells here. He won't tell you anything because I'm not that disposed to ignore the rules that much there. I still gotta respect the rules for the games I write. But the ghost will signal you to the desk nearby and to the desk and to one of the I'm sorry,
Drawers?
the plate. Yes, drawers. Thank you. Bilingual brain failing me because I'm juggling a bit of information at the moment. To one of the drawers.
Okay, I'm gonna try the drawer and say the energies are pointing me at this drawer.
Okay, the others cannot see the ghost. The ghost doesn't manifest to them. It's you, the only one who managed to pierce beyond the veil and see. And you find a note there which takes a little bit of time. It's a diary which takes a little bit of time for you to read. In the meantime, you the others understand that there's Mr. Renard, the Inspector Renard, arguing with Mr. Sheridan. Mr. Sheridan is blaming Arsène for the murder. Renard says that Lupin might be a criminal, but he's not an assassin, so this is all very weird. And as you read the diary, you find the mention of a certain lady who goes by the name of Millicent Carr, who is trying to buy the gem, basically. Is making insistent claims from Mr. Wells to buy the gem. And Miss Carr has been introduced to Mr. Wells. She's never showed up to directly. She's been writing a lot of letters and making pressures to Mr. Wells to buy this gem, and making pressures through Mr. Sheridan himself, who is one of the two people who have the key to open the dome there.
It's pretty cut and dry. So I share. Is he in the room right now with us?
Yes, indeed. It's talking to Renard just outside of the door, basically.
So I beckon the girls that are in my party, like over here, and I'm like, I think we might have our culprit. We're going to need to check Mr. Sheridan, I think, or whoever worked with him. But I think he might have done it.
What do the others answer to this?
Well, we know, well, Elfriede knows that she can see ghosts, and she's just kind of standing there doing her thing. As someone that wanders through Erdstill tunnels, she can't really judge. It's like, okay, all right. If you say that's what's going on.
It's like, well, there's a diary as well. You don't just have to take the ghost's word for it.
Mm.
So yeah, I'll probably try and sneakily open the page and just tap it. And
there's evidence there of something happening, of Mr. Sheridan being quite direct in wanting to get the gem for this Millicent Carr we have here, with a figure who hasn't appeared in the.
Elfriede's not a cop, so she doesn't. So it's like, okay. Good enough for me.
It's true, we're not cops.
Would you, because we are shamelessly collapsing things right now, I planned things so well for this scenario. And I have just checked that my initial note for the timing said 4 hours. Something must have happened in the organization at a certain time in there. Would you please roll for me an Enigmas plus intellect or cunning, Kim, please?
Yes. Right, so I have four dice. Can I get something nice? Compute game. Oh, okay. I have 1 success.
Okay. Since you are part of the Society Opposition to Monsters, you noticed a little pattern in the name Millicent Carr, which reminds you of a certain other character with a fondness for absonances and acronyms, who was originally known as Countess Mircalla of Osteria, then went for Carmilla later on, and Millicent Carr does meet with that pattern there. So
oh boy. That's great.
Carmilla as in the vampire novel of Carmilla?
Yes. We reveal that Carmilla is the second character we reveal tonight from the Aether collection.
Awesome.
I couldn't allow Aether to keep going without Carmilla.
this is actually the perfect group of people to go meet Carmilla.
It is.
We made Camilla someone who met Count Dracula, and Count Dracula tried to make her one of her brides in Aether, and Camilla says, no, sorry.
Not into that.
Thanks for the vampiric powers, though.
Yes.
But I can walk in daylight, so screw off.
We're very proud of our Carmilla in Aether as well. I
Yeah.
had prepared things for her to show up, and well, another time.
It's nighttime now, but there's still time for her to sweep us off our feet.
Yes. We could all vow to go meet this Carmilla. If you share something about her, I would be very interested in meeting her
Yeah,
as Lillian.
Oh yeah, Elfried will mention that that naming pattern is very similar to that of one of the aliases of the Sanguinvore, Carmilla. Although this is kind of out of her area, but she can travel. She is someone that capable of traveling in daytime, unlike Dracula. But she doesn't wander out. This is like, so she's interested in it. There's something going on.
Yes, and
It's not her MO.
Lillian did notice that there were cat paws in the blood, and as if someone turned into a cat, and also someone who turned into something that can sleep under doors and up into the windows on the roof. I'm revealing the clues so badly here, but
Yeah, that's definitely her MO. She can do those things. It is nighttime now, so yeah, that sounds like, yeah, it's probably Carmilla.
Carmilla. Well, I would be very interested in meeting a woman like that.
She'll probably be the first and last woman you meet like that.
Do we know where she's likely to be?
This isn't her territory. She has a fondness for attractive women.
Okay.
And
Right.
she is a noble woman as well. So somewhere nice and full of beautiful women. So probably not here. Probably not here. She's probably somewhere nice. Where
Offended. Lillian's offended.
and I took that personally.
It's like, it's not a
Took that
personal attack,
personally.
Lily. This is just not a gatherings place for her. So it's probably some nicer uptown parlor that we could probably meet her.
Well,
And you also know that Sheridan is in contact with Carmilla. Is likely someone working for Carmilla there.
So I'm gonna slide up to Sheridan and say, it's getting a little tense in here, isn't it? Do you know anywhere a little looser where I could meet with other pretty young women? You know what I mean? Just talk, girl talk.
Sheridan
You
is
just seem
probably
like the kind of man who might know.
is probably figuring out that by sending you to certain places to meet certain people, he do a favor to a certain someone in this moment, you know, and he'll tell you to go near the Eiffel Tower and see if there's some lonely lady, a little bit pale perhaps, who is looking for some company here, like cutting 2 hours of the plan to do stuff, and have Arsène Lupin show up and help you to go after Carmilla, because Sheridan had basically used the name of Lupin to blame him of the thievery there, basically. But we'll cut Lupin outside of our story, sadly.
Unfortunate. So it's like, so I'm like, if any of his family want me to try talking to him again, I'll say to the police on the way out, just give me a ring. I would love, I would love to take a look at him again.
Okay.
And we're gonna head to the Eiffel Tower. We're gonna saunter off to the Eiffel Tower.
You're traveling through Paris in the middle of the night, crossing the Seine like it's nothing on the very pleasant evening. You do arrive to the Champs-Élysées and do find a woman who is a young, beautiful lady with raven black hair and a certain cat-like appearance in her eyes. They're not cat-like, but they give you the impression of a prowling creature, smart and clever, beautiful but also dangerous, who does find you. She has in a suitcase with her made of metal she's carrying, and she notices you there, all three in the distance there.
Mm.
And Elfried notices that this is the Carmilla of the reports of your society, basically.
Okay.
I think
Well,
we're gonna have a social interaction with Carmilla to wrap things up here. You reckon?
yeah. Freed's not gonna just open fire because she's not doing anything. She could be framed, right? Quite frankly, for this. She may not have been the murderer, but she's not.
Yeah.
She is a vampire.
Can I have a little? Can I have a look through the monocle and see if the gem is actually anywhere in the vicinity?
Yes. You'll have a look at with the monocle, and it's another clever use of that, because you do notice that the suitcase doesn't glow, Claire. So the gem, Carmilla seems to know that she has the gem, but the gem isn't actually in that suitcase. It would show a lot, to be honest.
Is it somewhere else? Is it on her?
No, you actually don't see that.
No, it's really bright.
Hmm.
It would show up if it was anywhere around here, but it's not there.
Oh crap.
So Carmilla thinks she has the gem, but you reckon that she doesn't. She has something in that suitcase.
So she
She's got half a brick.
thinks she has the gem.
She's got half a brick, and she's like, a few million francs later.
So
Okay.
can I
Oh,
spend the
please.
momentum to turn on sultry air? Would you guys be okay with that?
Yeah, go
Yeah.
for it. We're at the
Yeah.
end. Go.
Yeah.
Spend everything.
And have you told me that she doesn't have the gem?
She doesn't have it. No,
Yeah.
it's not there.
So I'm gonna walk up to her and I say, I see you're empty-handed.
Why do you say so? And in any case, I think that I've just found something worth of my attention. In any case, she lifts your chin a little bit with a finger, like it's nothing, taking the personal space, completely ignoring it like that, because she can.
Lillian's fine with that.
Why would you tell that, you little thing?
We just have certain gifts among us, me and my friends, and I think you came here for something, and I'm pretty sure you don't have it.
You piqued her interest, and she opened that suitcase, and there's a gem in there. She seems a little bit confused. She takes the gem into her hands and then cracks it. And there's a little calling card with a man in a top hat and a monocle still eyes in the middle of the jam there, saying things that saying, Madame, je appreciate your attention here, but my city is my city, and I'm the only one who can use my name. Au revoir.
Man, am
That
I right?
would have been nicer with the story I had planned in mind and less rushed. There was a really cool thing that I planned, and I'm really sorry about that. But it says 4 hours here in the initial message. I have the proof. Okay. Well, Carmilla says, well, I've seen, it seems I've been had here, but I didn't have any real interest for the jam beyond giving that to someone for other services. So I'll think I'll take my cards and leave. She turns and asks, would any of you want to come with me by chance?
I think I would like a nice evening out.
We're
And
taking
I'll be like, no to
uh,
girls.
you say you see your dear
Give
friends
me
living with
drinks.
one of the most notorious vampires of history, and for a night to remember in any case. And as the evening ends on a fancy night in Paris, you see the stars, you understand that there's a certain gentleman thief with a gem he likely used to light up his lair and not for anything else, because it really gives an air to the place. And someone that doesn't do what he does for the money, it's more for the reputational rewards in there. So it's Elfried and Constance having their time there and having solved a certain mystery. At least you found the culprit of the murder and what else was going on. And we'll end our scenario with this fancy sky, the pleasant sky of Paris being lit up by certain cylinders falling down from the sky, because we're 6 months before of the beginning of Aether, and the first time the Martians attack, they attack Paris, and we end on that note. Okay.
Yay.
I'm sorry I had to rush things. The plans weren't these. I hope you still enjoyed your time.
I did. Thank you.
And
Thank you.
I checked again, and tomorrow when we all play together Cyclops Escape, it's gonna be our 4 hours from my 5 p.m. to my 9 p.m. And that's on everything as well. So please don't mess with me again on MixPuffCon. And
Don't you dare.
Oh, it's gonna be. I'm gonna have the cutest little Hydra that's really just a giant snake. It'll be great.
we'll
And I'm
see
going
tomorrow.
to be Doris Warrior Princess.
And we have Claire as an air spirit. I want to overstay your welcome. Thanks a lot to any of you for being here. Thanks to Corbin for helping us with the tech, and thanks for Simulacra TV for hosting us, and for Onyx for giving us the opportunity to be here. Goodbye, everyone.
All right.
Bye.